I'll tell you, in 1961, several things happened. I had two brothers. Jimmy, my oldest brother, is 4 years older than me. Glenn's 2 years older. And we began taking colts in from people to ride them, you know. And we'd get on colts and I'd get bucked off, being probably the least experienced of all. I was younger then. I think I was 9 years old, 8 or 9, 8 years old. And then in 1961, December 14th, there was a bad school bus crash. The train hit a school bus. At that time, it was one of the worst in history. And my mom and dad was going to work, and they seen this bus wreck. And we lived out in the country, so our school got consolidated and everything moved in town. So that's why the bus went on in it. And Mom said, or Dad said, "Oh, that's the Nazarene bus." And Mom said, "No, that's our bus." And she got there, and there were several children laying on the ground and different things, and they just went to picking them up, and farmers started showing up, and they'd put the kids in cars to get them to the hospital and different things. And my older brother was killed on that wreck, and they found him. He had some damage to the back of his head and all that, but they seen children with their legs cut off, one with their head cut off. But out of everybody that died, they died there, and anybody that come through the bus wreck, there was no injuries to them. I mean, there no look back on them. They're blemish free. I was knocked out for 5 days, broke some ribs, an arm, and different things. My older brother had a bad cut on his leg, but the point I'm getting at here is that's where I learned how to get along with adversity and trials of life. Everybody's left the country that had children on there, and Mom and Dad said, "No, we're staying here." And we all became closer as a family and closer to the Lord at that point. And we knew Jesus, but we knew how to really thank Him and be grateful for the things He did. But sure enough, we moved to Oregon just like everybody else had moved away, and that wasn't really the rodeo atmosphere in Oregon. But my brother and I got interested anyhow, and I learned to set goals at that point. In '62, then I did. But that's the bus wreck was one of the things that really brought us closer as a family and closer to the Lord. You know, you just, the faith you had, you see what the Lord could do for a guy, and that just made me believe that He was so real that I knew that at that point, if whether I wanted the Lord to help me with something or I was going to get something done, I knew to have faith and believe that it was going to happen. Just the results of seeing all the neat things that He had done for us and that I could do in life, that I knew it was possible to just believe and go do what you got to do. You know, I looked up to my dad more than anybody, but as far as Cowboys, as a boy, I'd imitate being Jim Shoulders or Casey Tibbs, Larry Mahan, but it always, we had a tire swing and we'd get on and spurt like a bucking horse, my brother and I, and it'd always be out of chute number 5, here's Jim Shoulders, or out of chute number 5, here's Larry Mahan. And then to really be spectacular, you'd say out of chute number 5, here's Bruce Ford or Glenn Ford, and you'd have to make them believe, so you'd be the winner. So my mentors was my dad, and then the rodeo heroes would have been Jim Shoulders, Casey Tibbs, or Larry Mahan. You know, my daily routine was a little different than most. A lot of guys go to the gym and lift weights or jog or whatever, and I was always blessed by not being very heavy, lean, and my my routine was that first jump from nod my head. That was my way of warming up. Mentally, you'd visualize whatever. You'd always go find out what horse you had drawed, and if, of course, if there's one that you dreaded, you had to get out of that and think about, man, this is the biggest tweet I've ever been on in my life. And you put the rankling out of your mind and put a nice horse on your mind and lift on your rigging. Time you're pretending, you're lifting on your rigging. And my mental preparation was always look for something good. Don't look in the bad of it. You got this old rank horse, but I tried to visualize he's a nice little horse, and then I forgot whether he was rank or nice after I got on him, so it's a whole deal. Well, at first it's it's a big goal setting deal, and you almost put too much pressure on yourself. But after that, my first one was I'm struggling, and I went in 14th hole and to take 15 to the national finals, and won a little money there at the first final. But I thought I got to go back and make that better. And the next year I was in 75. I was in the lead for the world at one point, but I wasn't prepared for that. I didn't know how to set goals yet, real goals, and I wasn't really prepared for that. But when I realized I could get something done, then there was just no turning back. My challenge to go to the national finals was I'm gonna win. I'm a winner, and it's a piece of cake when I learned to set my goals higher. I don't want to win the world. I want to win X amount of dollars, or I want to go to so many rodeos and go to the national finals, and it just became kind of repetitious, like something I was going to do, The injury deal, I will say that the Lord protected me from my injuries, because I never failed to get on a bucking horse that I didn't put the Lord first in my life, and say, that was a kind of a statement that everybody used, and really didn't happen until this part of my life. I really have put God first in my life, but at that point I would still pretend I was putting the Lord first in my life, and but I would say a prayer, but I never did pray to win nothing. I believe that's cheating. I thought we all out there to win something, but I asked the Lord to protect me, and I went injury free. I dislocated the shoulder, kept me out for a little while, and that was in 75 when I still got in the lead for the world, or 76. When it didn't look like I was going to make the finals, and somebody said, "Oh, you'll make it next year." I said, "No, I'll make it this year." And it was really a successful year for me. It just, but that's the only injury I ever had, was separated shoulder. I guess the separation was my style. I come along when the bareback riders kind of set up straighter, and they rode real good, but they set up straighter, and mine was wild and out of control, yet in control, and I never planned it that way. That's just that's the way my style was. I'd spur them out after that second jump, just get back and let her fly. I had a friend in my early years of riding that he was an older rider, and I'd ride the ponies and stuff at that point. And I said, "Joe, what do you do to do this?" Joe Burback is his name. He said, "Just fall back and look at the stars." Well, that's kind of getting wild, but I did get back and let her roll. But you got to learn to keep your chin down. A lot of basic goes along with it, but I think the separation is that I was all wild, out of control, yet in control. Well, in 1998, I was buying and selling horses, trying to fulfill a rewarding feeling that you get from rodeo. There's nothing compares to it. But buying horses and selling a horse good. That was a pretty close resemblance, but it still wasn't as fulfilling. And Marvin Garrett and Mark Garrett, Larry Sandvik, Merle Temple, them boys all come by my house, or I seen them somewhere, and they was going to a rodeo. And I said, "Where you boys headed next?" And they said, I said, "You know my card number." I said, "Let me jump in that with you and enter me." And they started to enter me, and we all got in the same van together. And it was amazing. I was 46 years old, and I made it to the national finals, and Larry Sandvik made it. But them other boys, Marvin, Mark, and the other boys on the airplane, they crashed their airplane at the last rodeo of the year at San Francisco, and they just needed to win a little bit, and they had surpassed me. And as it turned out, I made the finals. I went in, I think, 14th hole that year, and it was an achievement that I was thrilled that I made it, because I set out to do that, but I forgot to set my goal higher after I made the finals. But I did what I wanted to accomplish, that getting to the finals that year. I don't think it really has changed a lot. You know, like I say, my training was that first jump out of the chute. But the old, everybody says it, but I ate it, ate it, drank it, I slept it. Everything I did was rodeo. And a friend of mine, J.C. Trujillo, used to say that, and that's the truth. That's how you just got to eat and drink, think rodeo constantly. My biggest memory was probably in 1982. Was, I believe, it was the first year I won $100,000, and nobody had ever done that in one event. They do it now in 2 days, but at that time, 100,000 was a big accomplishment. And then I was needing a pat on the back. I think it was in '91, maybe the last prior to the 19th time finals that I went to. He said, I heard the announcers, and I had no idea. Heard the announcer say, "Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first Cowboy to win $1 million in one event." And of course, I got 2 cents of that million left. But that was a pretty neat achievement, I thought. And just those deals, I guess, 100,000 and $1 million, it was pretty rewarding. The biggest change I see in the 24 years is they make a lot of money anymore, but you know that goes back to the days of Jim Shoulders and them guys. Maybe $12,000 to win the world went a lot farther than $120,000 does now, and so that comparison is not a big deal. But I think the change I see now is the sponsorship in the rodeo business, the bigger rodeos, bigger paying rodeos, of course, but I think the same thing that's always there is going to be the camaraderie that Cowboys have with each other. That rodeo becomes your family when you're away from your own family. These guys are your brothers out there, you know, and sometimes they're closer than your real brother. But rodeo's good. It's been good then, and it's good now.
Yes, sir.
The fact that I come through all this deal and still live for Jesus, still have the Lord in my heart. You know, it's tough life out there to stay away from the whiskey and the dope and all that stuff's in the deal anymore. And that's the proudest time that my friends can say I was a pretty good old boy, and that makes me feel good. You're putting one out there in front of me that I got to brag on myself, but you know what? There's some good ones. There's been some real good ones, and like I said, it's changed from the way it was, the way it is now. I'm pretty high on Joe Alexander was great. Gary Tucker was maybe the stylish bareback rider I've ever seen. I was one of the winningest bareback riders there ever was. And I'm pretty high on Tim O'Connell and them boys now. Really, I like Tim O'Connell real well. Oh, I would say Lyle Sankey would have been my standout. He could ride barebacks, he could ride bulls, he could ride broncs, but he had the right heart. That guy was a good guy. His biggest claim to fame since he quit rodeoing is, even when he was rodeoing, I guess, he got to shake hands with Billy Graham and speak on one of Billy Graham's deals, and he was just a good guy, still a good guy. You know, this is a great ride, great world, you know, to be riding bucking horses or roping calves or whatever you're doing. But I would say invest. Somebody told me when I cracked out to buy land and invest in land. I think T.J. Walters told me that. But you're only going to be on top of the world for a while, and they're going to pull the rug out from under you. So have you something set up for when you're done rodeoing. It's a great life, but get prepared for something later. Well, you know, looking back on rodeo, that was a good life then. That was what I had. But now my sights are higher. I've always set my goal to something else. And I bought, my wife and I have purchased 80 plus acres in Fort Laramie, Wyoming. It's just out of Torrington there. And we got deer run across the pasture. We've got our water in, we've got our electricity, and we've got other things to come. We got we ask and believe for a cabin or a house. I believe we talked to the Lord on the 19th of October, and I believe that's going to fulfill some way. Something's going to happen, and but we're planning on having a retreat there, and Cowboys that have just need something to hang on to, because you're really caught up in this rodeo life. We're going to set up outlets for campers to plug in so they can come sit there and just stay as long as they want. And we're going to get our guitars out and play the guitar and sing praises to the Lord there, and we hope everybody comes and joins us.